Hey everybody, this is Olga with AskYourSoul.org, and this video is for you if you feel like you could use some guidance right about now. And what I'm gonna do is, first I'm gonna read a little bit about your situations, and then I'm gonna read the message from your higher self as a guidance for that situation. So here we go. So this is pile number 1, pile number 2, and pile number 3. Go with your first hunch on whichever one calls out to you, and then you can go ahead and go to your timestamp below. Okay, so pile number 1, here we go. Okay, so what's interesting is that these two are very similar in meaning and kind of like the vibe that they give me, but it seems like if there has been a project that you've been working on and you've been working pretty hard at it, you can really take the time to relax now and to just know that it's working out, everything is in place, like everything is kind of going the right way, even though it is a lot of hard work and maybe you've put in a lot of effort into this. But you can definitely see the rainbow. That's a really hopeful sign that everything is going to work out. But then I feel like the biggest message here is that if you've been spending too much time over-analyzing stuff, then it's definitely time to stop, okay? Because if you're thinking like, is this gonna work out, is this not gonna work out, the message from your higher self here is that even if you do make mistakes, which we all do always at some point, right, it's a lot more helpful to look at a mistake as an opportunity for you to learn, as an experience, as something that can help you grow and do better the next time, versus as failure, like you just failed if something didn't work out. And then similarly with envy, it says, I'm the same as everybody, but with different challenges. It's like always remembering that the grass is always greener on the other side, as you know. And if you think that somebody else is further along, they are where you should be, but you're not there yet, and like, how long is this gonna take? How much longer do you have to wait? Your higher self is kind of telling you, hey, this is your path. You're here to follow your own beautiful, challenging, interesting path that is unlike anyone else's in this world. And so if you compare yourself and your experiences with others, it can be both helpful and very detrimental to your progress, because helpful in the sense that it can be motivating. It can be like something where you're like, oh, I love that they did it this way or whatever. Like taking someone else's experience and using it as a way to learn and motivate yourself. That's what I mean. That's helpful. But unfortunately, most of the time, we don't do that. We actually use comparison to others as a way to make ourselves feel shitty, And so this is exactly what your higher self doesn't want you to do. It just says, hey, like, you're on the right path, you're doing amazingly, and if you are working hard, you can totally expect some really awesome results. You're just like creating something super cool. It's very alchemical, But the more you overanalyze and overthink and compare yourself and worry about failing at whatever it is that you're doing, the less in alignment you are, the more likely you are to actually not get the results that you want. So this is more than anything about believing in yourself and trusting that everything that's happening on this path of yours right now is happening for your highest good. Okay, even if it doesn't seem like it, even if it seems like a mistake or a failure, or you're just not feeling like you're doing enough or like you're getting enough. This is very reassuring, because it's telling you like you're almost there. You're almost exactly where you want to be. But what's deterring you from getting there is actually your own over-analytical mind, because you can't possibly predict everything that could go wrong, everything that's, that you should be doing that you're not, and blah, blah, blah. Like, it's just all noise at the end of the day. It's more about just having a certain discipline and sticking with it and really trusting that you are going to get to the results that you would like to see eventually. And you are going to learn a lot in the meantime, as you're following this beautiful path of yours. So the biggest message here, as I see it, is do not be afraid of things not going exactly according to your plan, okay, it's fine. It's actually, maybe there's a much better plan in place that you just don't know about yet. And definitely do not waste your time over analyzing and comparing yourself to others and their progress and like everything that you should be doing and you're not doing, and just making yourself feel worse about it versus actually taking action. So I feel like this is a lot more about you taking action than it is about like sitting there thinking about it. And if you are taking action and if you're doing your best, then rest assured that it's gonna work out in a really, really beautiful way. And whether or not this is exactly how you're picturing it, we don't know. Like, maybe it's not. But what's beautiful about this is that there is a rainbow at the end of this journey. It's not even, I'm hesitant to say the end of this journey. It's not really the end. It's always kind of ongoing, I guess. But it's more about this specific project that you're working on, I feel like. You know, maybe this project is a part of a bigger project, or it's just a part of your path. But whatever it is, this is very reassuring. And again, not overthinking it and not comparing yourself with anyone else and not being afraid to mess up, okay? And whatever that means to you. I feel like that's the deeper message here. So I hope this resonated with you. And if it does, I would love to hear some comments. If you'd like a personal reading, please reach out to me via askyoursoul.org. Other than that, thank you so much for watching, and I would love it if you could like and subscribe if you actually enjoyed this video. Thank you so much. And now we are going to move on to pile number 2. Okay, pile number 2, here we go. Honesty and fear. Oh boy. So this is an interesting one. I feel like, you know, maybe you've started something, some kind of a new project, or it actually seems like maybe even a new job. And you know, at first you were like really curious about it, everything seemed interesting, and you just kind of tried to approach it with an open mind, an open heart, and you were like genuinely interested in how this is going to work out and what you can learn. But then at some point it actually required a lot of change and transformation on your part. It actually kind of like shook your whole world, because you had a certain expectation and you received something totally different. So again, I don't know if it's like from a new job or if it's just some kind of a new opportunity that could be money related, although not necessarily. But I feel like there was a lot of transformation that had to take place, and it was kind of earth-shattering for you. And I don't know, I keep thinking relationships though. Like, it seems to be a work-related message, but I still feel like relationships is a really big part of it. But then the good news is that you are emerging. You know, the situation forced you to do whatever it takes to get through it and come out on the other end, and to just become stronger and smarter as a result of it. So it's like there you are, like emerging again and starting anew. And this seems kind of like an intellectual pursuit, but I don't know, every time I see so much water, I always think about feelings, and that's why I keep saying like it could relate to relationships. But regardless, it's not an easy situation to go through, because it's something that you kind of entered with an open mind and open heart, and then you had to have that heart broken in some ways before you could actually emerge again, so much stronger this time, you know? And then your higher self message is that, you know, it says honesty. I can't always expect the truth from others, but I can expect it from myself. And it also says fear. I realize that I'm testing my resolve to live in the energy of love. Because as you probably know, the other side of fear is love. And so we're always gravitating towards one or the other at any given point, you know, depending on how you feel. And so it seems like the more ready you are to let go of your fears, you know, of expectations from others or from whatever any specific situation is going to be, and the more you are willing to be honest with yourself first and foremost, the more success you're going to have, the more likely you are to get what you actually want. Whether it's in relationships again, or whether we're talking about like a work situation. But again, for some reason I keep like feeling like this is a relationship issue. And At the end of the day, the biggest message here is not being afraid. It's not being afraid to like go through difficult situations, because they are going to make you grow. They are going to make you learn. They're going to make you a better person for it. Of course, being honest with yourself is like one of those things where you think it'd be easier because it's just you, right? Like no one can read your mind. You can just be honest with yourself. But it's actually so hard. It's like facing your own shadow. You can't even do it if you don't know exactly what's there. So it's being very open-minded about things where you know you should be doing something different, but you're not for whatever reason, and you're kind of cutting yourself short. Or it could relate to other people who are not treating you the way that you should be treated, but for whatever reason, like you really want them in your life, so you just kind of like are willing to close your eyes to that. And that's not right either. It's not good for you. It's not good for your soul. It's not good for your life. But only you decide when that can be changed and how to change it, and when it's time to like leave a situation like that. So overall, I'm feeling like this is a very hopeful one, because it just shows that you can like emerge from whatever it is that you've been going through, as hard as it has been and as betrayed as you felt as a result of it. As long as you're willing to really, really be honest about your situation to yourself, and as long as you're willing to move from fear-based thoughts to love-based thoughts, and kind of to forgive and let go of whatever it is that hasn't been serving you, in order to let something so much better into your life, So, I mean, I hate to say it, it's kind of a cliche, but I feel like the main message here is whatever happened for your highest good. And you have the ability to really learn from it and to take something from it that will really benefit you in the future. But again, nobody's saying that it's easy, and it does require a lot of hard work on yourself. But at the same time, the results are totally worth it. At the end of the day, you're just so much stronger, you're so much better at whatever it is that you're doing. So yeah, you've done an amazing job so far, and you're definitely being encouraged to use what you've learned for the future, and not being afraid of what might happen, not letting that fear affect how you act in the future, other than to teach you to act more from love. And also, I would encourage you not to expect others to always be honest with you, because I don't think that's very realistic in our world. Like, if we were honest 100% of the time with everyone, we would probably not have any friends left at the end of the day, So it's okay that people most of the time like don't want to tell you the honest truth. That's fine. But it's a lot more important that you're actually honest with yourself. And you know when you're not being honest with yourself. So I encourage you to really listen to this calling of your soul, to any nudges that you've been getting from yourself and you've been kind of trying to ignore them for whatever reason. I just really want you to know that there is a lot of power in your hands in regards to this situation, and that your inner guidance is always there for you, and that you can always ask, even in meditation. If you just start listening to this inner guidance, it's gonna help make your life so much easier and so much more fulfilling, because that's exactly what's gonna pretty much force you to become very honest with yourself. So, I think that's pretty much it. I hope this message resonated with you guys, and I would love to hear back. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to reach out to me via askyoursoul.org. Other than that, have an awesome day or night, and best of luck in your endeavors, and I hope to see you back soon. Bye! Alrighty, moving on to our last pile number 3. Let's see what we got for you. Wow, rebirth. Wow, so I feel like there's definitely been a lot of learning on your part as of late. Or maybe your whole life. Because it seems like from the beginning, there you are, you're born into this world, you have this open heart, you have this open mind, you want to see what happens, you want to be friends with people, you want everything to work out, you want love and gentleness and happiness. And then you realize that world doesn't really work like that always, pretty much never actually. And so you are constantly being put in this position of like having to defend yourself and like fight for whatever the heck you want, and kind of prove to yourself and others over and over again that you're worthy of the success that you have, or whatever. You're just worthy of whatever it is that you want in your life. And so it kind of puts you more on the defensive, because at some point in life you realize that you can't be as open-hearted and open-minded and as loving to people, because you literally never know what to expect from them. So it's really hard to maintain in that state of openness if you don't really trust your surroundings. And eventually what happens is, you can either become like the ultimate victim and just kind of like sit back and say that like nothing is in my power, I can't do anything about this, my life is doomed, blah blah. But instead, look at this. You have chosen the path of the best defense is offense, and you have focused on making yourself intellectually ready to attack at any point, pretty much. That's what I'm getting from these cards. So it seems like you're really not afraid to let people know what you think, and you're not afraid to stand for what you believe, which is really great. It's important for sure, but it's also important to stay open-minded through that regardless, because everyone has their opinions and they're usually all different, and you don't want, everyone in your life to literally have the same opinions as you on everything, because that feels like the most boring thing in the world that's not gonna help you grow in any way. It's just gonna keep you in the same place forever. But the message from your higher self is that it's really important for you to release the need to know all the answers. And I know that's so much easier said than done, because we hate uncertainty. And it's just a fact. Like, seriously, we freaking hate uncertainty. We want to know what to expect. We want to know what's going to happen, what to do in the situation, especially like as we get older and our anxiety increases about like pretty much everything in life. It's even more anxiety provoking when you don't know what the heck to expect. But you are being encouraged to really trust and go with the flow. And I also love this because it says, happiness. I'm aware that being happy means that I am on the right path. This is kind of your guiding light. It's all about, at the end of the day, it's about how you feel. Have you been out of tune with how you feel lately? Have you really focused more on like intellectual pursuits and stuff that hasn't been putting you in touch with your feelings as much? Because it's almost like a self-defense mechanism where you're like, well, there's so much uncertainty in life, I don't know what the heck to expect, and it's easier to focus on things that you think you can predict and things that you feel like you have control over. And so this path has a lot more to do with your thinking mind versus you tuning into how you feel about things and really spending time to focus on your heart energy. Like, where is your heart right now? What are you feeling? How are you feeling? What's happening? Are you happy in your life? Because it almost seems like you're so busy trying to defend your opinions and being afraid that something is going to go wrong that you don't really have enough time to focus on love and focus on being in the flow and like letting life guide you more. Because you're probably one of those people who have been like burned one too many times and you're like, that's it, I got this, like I know how to handle this from now on. I'm just gonna think my way through life, and that certainly has its place for sure. Like, you don't want to live your life not thinking, that's for sure. But at the same time, if thinking rules your life, then you're really missing out on this amazing opportunity. You're missing out on an opportunity to really feel through life as well and to fully grasp this experience of life that we have, So you are definitely being encouraged to pay attention to how you actually feel versus how you're thinking about a situation, and to release the fact that you might not know what to expect, and that's okay. I know it's hard, but at the same time, maybe the more you trust, the more awesomeness and happiness you're going to receive as a result. And even if that seems very naive and like a fairy tale nonsense or whatever, just give it a shot. What do you have to lose? Seriously, what do you have to lose other than experiencing more interesting feelings in your life? So again, I applaud you on being someone who has taken so much responsibility into your own hands for your life. That's wonderful. But at the same time, I definitely encourage you to kind of step away from overthinking it too much and letting life and your feelings lead the way at least some of the time. Not always, of course, but into your own inner guidance, you're going to start noticing and getting more and more help from your heart, from yourself, and from your higher self that just wants you to experience this life to the fullest. So that's definitely still a part of your experience, and I really hope that you do consider tuning into it more often than maybe you have been. I really hope this message resonated with y'all, and thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, please consider subscribing and liking this video. It would really mean a lot to me. Also, please consider reaching out to me via askyoursoul.org if you'd like a more personalized reading. And have an amazing day or night. I really hope to see you all soon at my future readings, and wishing you all the best. Thanks so much for your time. Bye!